For decades, audiences admired the starship Enterprise, seeing tales of unity, courage, and friendship. Yet behind the polished episodes of Star Trek, tensions often simmered among the cast. At the center of both admiration and controversy was William Shatner, the man who brought Captain James T. Kirk to life. Now in his 90s, Shatner reflects candidly on those turbulent years, revealing a reality far removed from the heroic adventures seen on screen. His story is one of ambition, rivalry, and resilience, showing that the man behind the iconic uniform faced challenges as dramatic as any episode he starred in. Childhood drama. In Montreal, William Shatner was born in Montreal, Canada, on March 22, 1931, amid a record-breaking snowstorm. His mother was forced to deliver him at home due to blocked roads, marking the start of a life steeped in unpredictability. Early on, Shatner seemed destined for the stage. By age 8, he was enrolled in a children's acting school run by a respected local actress. At 10, he was performing on radio productions, such as The Magic Flute for CBC. By the time he played Tom Sawyer in a stage adaptation, critics marveled at his natural talent and stage presence. A rocky education, a rising passion. Despite early promise, Shatner's formal education was inconsistent. In 1948, he enrolled at McGill University to study economics, a practical choice intended to please his parents. Yet he rarely attended lectures, drawn instead to campus theater. By 1950, he had written and performed a student play that drew attention from CBC producers, giving him his first taste of television. These early experiences highlighted a young man whose talents thrived outside conventional expectations. Shatner's passion for acting often clashed with academic life, signaling a determination to follow a creative path despite practical pressures and early setbacks. The leap to New York. In 1956, Shatner took a pivotal step, moving to New York City to pursue acting full-time. He made his Broadway debut in Tamburlaine the Great, which lasted only 20 performances. Though the show failed commercially, the experience was formative. For a young Canadian with little formal training, simply appearing on a New York stage was a major accomplishment. From there, Shatner began building a career in television, appearing on series like Alfred Hitchcock Presents, The Defenders, and The Outer Limits. His roles often showcased a talent for portraying tension, anxiety, and barely restrained panic. Twilight Zone and The Craft of Fear. Shatner's work on The Twilight Zone, particularly the 1963 episode Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, became defining moments in his early career. In these roles, he demonstrated a unique ability to convey characters unraveling under pressure. This skill would become central to his later portrayal of Captain Kirk. Audiences connected to the nervous intensity and human vulnerability he brought to these performances. These appearances established Shatner as an actor capable of capturing psychological tension, setting the stage for a role that would demand both authority and relatable human emotion. Entering the Star Trek universe by 1965, Shatner had a solid television resume, but nothing hinted that he would become the face of a cultural phenomenon. The original Star Trek pilot, The Cage, featured Jeffrey Hunter as Captain Christopher Pike, but NBC executives rejected it as too slow and cerebral. A second pilot was ordered, and Hunter declined to return. Shatner was invited to audition, reviewing the rejected pilot and noticing stiff performances he thought lacked warmth and relatability. He envisioned a captain who was commanding yet approachable, curious about the universe, and able to inject humor alongside authority, making Kirk feel both heroic and human. T.J. Hooker and physical dedication. Shatner's work on T.J. Hooker from 1982 to 1986 allowed him to redefine himself outside science fiction. Playing Sergeant Thomas Jefferson Hooker, he took on a role that demanded physicality and authority. He performed many of his own stunts, enduring broken ribs, concussions, and the onset of chronic back pain. This dedication reflected Shatner's relentless drive, though it came at a physical cost. The role reinforced his ability to carry a series and reminded audiences that he was more than just Captain Kirk. His ambition and work ethic were undeniable, but they often placed him at odds with others. Navigating cast conflicts, Shatner's relationships with his co-stars remained complicated. Some cast members, including George Takei and James Doohan, publicly criticized his controlling behavior, while Shatner admitted his insecurities contributed to conflicts. The most complicated relationship was with Leonard Nimoy. They collaborated, argued, and sometimes avoided speaking for extended periods. Even as fame brought recognition, personal tensions persisted. Shatner has described these strained relationships as a source of regret, particularly his estrangement from Nimoy until the latter's death in 2015. These conflicts underscore the gap between the hero seen on screen and the man navigating fame, rivalry, and personal ambition. Later, career and Emmy success. In the 2000s, Shatner found new success with Boston Legal, playing Denny Crane. The role allowed him to combine humor, drama, and eccentricity, earning 2 Emmy Awards. By this stage, he had developed a professional identity outside of Star Trek, yet his earlier work continued to define public perception. Physical ailments, including hearing loss, arthritis, and chronic back pain, were constant reminders of decades of demanding work. Despite these challenges, Shatner continued to work, demonstrating resilience and adaptability. His career reflects the intersection of talent, ambition, and human vulnerability, reflection, and honest reckoning. Now in his 90s, Shatner speaks candidly about his past. He acknowledges the ego battles, sabotage, and open conflicts on Star Trek, admitting that his ambitions sometimes caused harm. "I failed sometimes," he states plainly, emphasizing that his efforts were always aimed at keeping the show alive. The fearless Captain Kirk represented humanity at its best on screen, but off-camera, Shatner navigated fear, rivalry, and insecurity. This honest reflection allows audiences to see a layered individual, a man whose achievements were matched by personal struggles, and whose flaws were intertwined with the very ambition that fueled his success. Legacy of complexity, William Shatner's journey illustrates that even legendary figures carry scars. The man who inspired courage and leadership on screen was vulnerable to fear, loneliness, and regret behind the scenes. His achievements in television and film reflect not only talent, but persistence and resilience in the face of professional and personal challenges. By sharing his experiences, Shatner invites audiences to reconsider simplistic notions of heroism. Captain Kirk may have been iconic, but the human being who portrayed him endured a life of conflict, triumph, and self-discovery, proving that even heroes are deeply complex. Conclusion: beyond the uniform, William Shatner's story is more than a tale of a television icon. It is a study in ambition, resilience, and human complexity. From a snowy Montreal birth to international stardom, he navigated early talent, professional setbacks, and intense interpersonal conflict. His candid reflections illuminate the tension between the persona audiences admire and the flawed, vulnerable human behind it. At 93, Shatner's honesty allows fans to appreciate not just Captain Kirk, but the man who brought him to life. His legacy is one of courage, perseverance, and the enduring truth that even legends carry personal struggles behind the public facade.